Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update. And in the news this afternoon, Manchester school mourns a shooting death of 4-year-old girl. With just a few more days left in Child Month, a family and the school community are mourning the tragic loss of yet another child. Teachers at the Abnell International Preparatory and Care Center in Mandeville, Manchester, on Wednesday morning quickly put together a memorial for student Gia Grinnell, complete with a framed photo of the 4-year-old girl. Gia died following a shooting incident at her home on Ingleside Boulevard in Hanbury District on Tuesday night. Principal of the school, Deidre Water Christie, says that the Ministry of Education has provided grief counseling, while members of the school community have been trying to support each other and the girl's family. She remembers Gia as an intelligent and a bubbly student.
She was a sweetheart. Any room that she walked into, she changed the atmosphere of that room. She was just the light in any space that she entered. She was very intelligent. She was reading at 4 very well. Her cognitive skills were just very developed for her age. She had 2 parents who I believe loved and cared for her the best they could. And this is an unfortunate situation, but we continue to keep them in our prayers.
The news was informed that about 10 o'clock, Gia's mother, a licensed firearm holder, put her 4 and 12-year-old children to bed. While in the bathroom, the woman reportedly heard an explosion and found Gia with a bullet wound to the back of the head. The child was rushed to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. The mother's firearm had reportedly been left inside a handbag. Representatives of the Child Protection and the Family Services Agency have offered counseling to Gia's mother. Meanwhile, the police say a statement was taken from the mother, which will be reviewed, along with other evidence gathered to determine if charges will be laid. Grand Spen residents are wary of community going back to the days of crime and violence. Several residents of Grand Spen, St. Andrew, say they do not want to return to the days when bloodshed and hostility were the norm in the community and the citizens resented the police. The call for cooperation with the security forces comes on the heels of Wednesday's police fatal shooting of a man and a fiery protest by residents. A resident said, "We're not going to let anyone drag down the community that some of us work so hard to lift up." At least 3 sections of the community were blocked and the fire set to the debris in Wednesday's protest. Motorists were greatly inconvenienced, with many of them having to turn around at various points. One motorist said stones were being hurled at them. 2 schools in the area were dismissed earlier than usual when the protest began. The police say the deceased man, Jadine Gooden, otherwise called the 6, was killed about 4 a.m. during an operation. The police say the operation targeted several communities in the division and several persons were processed. Gooden, a laborer of Grand Spen Drive, had in his possession a Taurus pistol with a magazine containing 5 9mm rounds, the police said. While a barber was murdered in the community on Sunday, head of the St. Andrew North Police Division, Acting Superintendent Randy Sweeney, told the news that crime and violence is trending down in the space. Since the start of the year, the community is doing fairly well in terms of crime. The community is in strong support of the police and the initiatives, the divisional commander told the news. One of the initiatives is the Stand United Peace Football Cup, which was held in December. The police and the community are working closely to continue with the reduction in crime and violence, Acting Superintendent Sweeney said. "We want the police to work with us because we are willing to work with them. We also want the youth them to value life and no more bloodshed. No more," an elderly resident said. The police told the news that the business community is also on board with the anti-crime strategy. They are reportedly spearheading a major Labor Day project for Grand Spen on Friday. Suspended cop gets okay for judicial review in leaked Pastor Kevin Smith video case. The policeman, who has been on interdiction since October 29, 2021, ostensibly for his role in a leaked video of the now deceased pastor Kevin Smith, inside a police station was on Tuesday granted leave in the Supreme Court to apply for judicial review in the matter. Detective Corporal Cleveland Frey has been interdicted on 3/4 pay for more than 3.5 years after he was accused of leaking the video of the controversial pastor which blew up on social media. He is represented by attorneys at law Shanique Scott and Winston Roberts of the law firm McLeod Scott Law. The court ordered that Frey, the applicant, be granted leave to apply for judicial review of the decision of the Commissioner of Police, who is the respondent, while noting that Frey has ceased to perform his duties within the Jamaica Constabulary Force. At the time of his interdiction, Major General Anthony Anderson was commissioner. He has since been succeeded by Dr. Kevin Blake. The court's grant of leave to apply for judicial review is conditional upon Frey making a claim for such on or before June 3, 2025. In their applications for judicial review, a copy of which was obtained by the news, the attorneys asked that an order of certiorari be granted to quash the decision of the police commissioner to interdict Frey. They also asked for a mandatory injunction compelling the commissioner to reinstate Frey to full duties within the JCF and to ensure his full salary is paid as if he had not been interdicted. Additionally, they have asked for a declaration that the interdiction notice is ultra-vires to Regulation 35 of the Police Service Regulations 1961 and was issued in breach of the principles of natural justice and procedural fairness. They argue that the respondent breached the applicant's constitutional rights to due process, fair hearing, and equitable treatment by a public authority as guaranteed by the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedoms, and that the respondent breached the applicant's legitimate expectation that the allegations against him would be investigated and concluded within a reasonable time in accordance with the principles of natural justice and procedural fairness. Frey, in his affidavit, a copy of which was obtained by the news, said the prolonged interdiction coupled with the respondent's inaction has not only caused a financial strain, but irreparable damage to my professional reputation and mental well-being. Given the respondent's failure to act and the prejudice caused to me, I am compelled to seek the intervention of this honorable court for judicial review, Frey added. The police in October 2021 launched an investigation into the origin of the video in which Smith, the then leader of the Pathways International Kingdom Restoration Ministries in Montego Bay, St. James, who was in detention, was captured addressing persons believed to be police officers inside a police station. Smith and some members of his flock were taken into police custody following the gruesome deaths of 2 church members during a cult-like ritual at the church on October 17, 2021. One member had their throat slashed. In the video, background talking and laughing, believed to be coming from cops, could be heard, with the policeman apparently heckling Smith. Smith was heard arguing that he was born in the parish of St. Catherine and that he was a warner who was being treated with contempt. I came as Jonah the Warner, but they mocked and they scoffed me. They surrounded me and looked at me and said, "Who is this man?" said a subdued and barefooted Smith. Shortly after, on October 25, 2021, the police would confirm that Smith and a policeman were killed in a high-speed crash along the Bugwalker bypass. He was being escorted under police guard to Kingston for a court appearance when he apparently took action that caused the vehicle to crash. 2 other policemen were injured in the crash. At least one member of the now disbanded church is facing a murder charge. Guys, thank you for watching. See you this evening at 6 p.m. for another news update.